nobody trusts a random person out there.
Because of the use of AI.
First would be highly underrated. Bigger problem now is comparing myself with other people. Preparing for an exam at 4 a.m.
Welcome back to AlumX, a series where we talk, connect, and evolve. Today we have Parikshit, the founder and CEO of Accelerate AI, in the studio with us. He graduated with a BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering in 2019 from IIIT-Delhi itself. Welcome, Parikshit. Thank you for joining us in AlumX. As you have started your journey as an academician at IIIT Delhi, where do you feel you now stand?
Initially in my college itself, I realized that I'm slightly curious. So I joined several college groups. I started taking part in the fests. And in general, what I really liked doing was building software. In fact, I even tried doing academics. I went for research, but then I eventually realized that's not for me.
You are at a very good place today. What's that one decision you took during your college life that made a big impact on where you are today?
I think one decision that I or anyone can take is perhaps choosing the right peer group. If you have a good peer group, a good echo chamber for you, which promotes you and supports you, you can actually do a lot of good work. So that ways, I was blessed with really good people around me who helped me nurture my career.
You have worked for several companies, not just worked, you have cracked companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs. What do these companies look for when they hire a fresh graduate now?
Yeah, I think these days the most important thing is the adaptability of any person, because hard skills are changing very rapidly. So what these companies are looking for, I think, are and what I've seen, I've taken 100 plus interviews with Amazon. So what I really look for myself when I interview people is their adaptability and ownership.
Okay.
These are the two things that I think determine whether a person would be successful in a particular role or not.
In the present world scenario, leaving a high paying salary job is actually quite scary, especially if you have a company like Microsoft. Now that you look back on it, do you feel that you made a hasty decision or that you absolutely made the right decision?
Things are changing very rapidly, at least in the software engineering side. The most luckiest or the unluckiest part is, because of AI, software developers are the first one to get impacted.
Yes.
Um, and these companies, these big tech companies, have hired a lot. They do not need these many people, which is why I wanted to pivot myself in the right position for the next 5 years, where I have more ownership of something and build something from scratch of my own, which is why I took this decision. So I don't feel that, I think.
You have done a remarkable job with this startup, Accelerate AI. What struggles did you have establishing it from scratch?
All the B2B companies, whatever repetitive tasks they have, especially in the sales side, is what we automate. Now, the problem that we had, and I started this 1.5 years back. At that time, I was still working with a company. So it was really hard initially to get traction for the business, to get my first paying customer. The problem is, these companies do not trust a random person with their data and their processes. Like, who would? So we had to begin very small. Even SMBs, as even small medium businesses, and helping them automate their small repetitive tasks. Through referrals, we started getting bigger clients and bigger enterprises.
And if our viewers wants to make a tech startup company like you did, what do you suggest they do?
I think today building has become really easy.
Okay.
And I would give all the credit that it deserves to AI. That if you want to build something, you can pretty much set a MVP up in a couple of weeks. We do it for our clients. The bigger problem now is building the right thing. But that's also an advantage, right? You can build several things and see what sticks. So in today's era, it's actually the best time to build or start a company.
Okay. Because of the use of AI.
because you can fast track a lot of things which used to take a lot of time.
Yes.
Like building a SaaS company, building a SaaS project used to take months earlier. But now, like in a couple of weeks, you can get a MVP up and have your first paying client.
That's good. Now, we know that you are a content creator. How has this skill helped you develop your own startup ecosystem?
Right. So content has helped me immensely, and the problem, like I mentioned, was with B2B companies is trust. Nobody trusts a random person out there. So the advantage of content is it gives credibility, it gives distribution. Now, let's say if I want to promote a product which I created, it's really hard. It's not that hard for me to get my first paying customer off of the distribution that I've created. So that above all these things, I think trust is what matters the most in B2B businesses, and that's what content has given me.
Now, we'd like to play a small game with you. Looking back at your IIIT Delhi days, what are the three things you'd like to focus on college?
Yeah. I think the first thing would be choosing my courses right.
Okay.
At that time, it was more like, whatever my friends are taking, I'll take that.
Okay.
I didn't put a lot of thought into the courses that I'm taking. And what I've realized is IIIT Delhi offers a lot of great courses, which I realize now after 6, 7 years. So that will be the first thing. I think second is focusing more on sports. I didn't do that.
Okay.
That's, I think, something I can double down on. And third would be starting content early. If I had started content early in my college days, I think the like a lot of struggle that I had wouldn't have been there.
And what are the three things you'd ignore?
Comparing myself with other people, I think we use. I don't know whether people do that or not. I used to do it. Focusing more on grades. I mean, those are important, sure, but it's okay to learn something and not worry about grades and whether how it'll impact your CGPA eventually. And third thing, I think if required, navigate to a different path. I was into EC and I thought, this isn't gonna work for me. So that thing I think I did well, and that has helped me moving to CSC.
Okay, now another quick personal ones. One is one club you were a part of.
So I was a part of club called Machaan, which was the theater club of IIIT. And yeah, we did a couple of plays. I really enjoyed it. A couple of my friends joined as well. So it was fun.
Now a quick three-word round. Hostel life in 3 words.
First would be night outs. Second would be preparing for an exam at 4 a.m., which is going to happen at 10 a.m. And third would be birthday bumps, I think.
And three skills that will matter in the next 5 years.
I think these are the skills that would matter longer than that. First would be problem solving. Second would be ownership. And third, networking, I think.
And IIIT Delhi in 3 words.
First would be highly underrated, innovative, and I think cool. It's
Well, then, thank you, Parikshit, for being here, for sharing your thoughts and your journey. It was an absolute pleasure having you. We hope to see you again very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hope today's talk was insightful. Do join us in the next episode of AlumX. Till then, connect, learn, and evolve.